Hi there, my name is Beverly Reynolds and I'm the owner and designer for handtdesignmedia. In this particular episode, we want to talk about scope creep. It's really not as creepy as it sounds. However, when you have a project and you're on task and you're on task and you're on task and you're meeting the deadlines, but then something comes up and you either can't or are struggling to meet that deadline, maybe the scope of that project has increased, maybe you've just had challenges along the way, could be internal or external to the project, that allow you to be short on resources, and the byproduct is you are struggling to meet that deadline. Maybe you even miss a deadline. Now, I'm going to tell you about a situation from my own life in which scope creep happened and what I did to address that challenge. I remember a time when I was the manager of a test team, and we had so many different scenarios to test. And it was a almost seemingly insurmountable amount of test cases that we had to run by a certain date. I had a member of my team that had become incredibly ill. Now, that's very challenging when that person is gone for an extended amount of time from work and they can't complete their assignments. That means that those assignments still have to get done by the deadline. That deadline, there's a high likelihood that that deadline is not going to be able to change. Of course, it depends on the project, depends on your stakeholders, your approvers, and so forth, but a lot of times that deadline doesn't change. So in that case, as the manager, as the project manager, it was my job to either parse it out to other resources or get the job done myself or even hire outside resources. Well, depending upon the budget of your project, you might not be able to hire out from outside, and the current people on your team may already be overloaded. So that means you have two choices. You can do the work yourself, even if that means staying up really late a couple of nights or pulling an all-nighter or whatever that takes to get that job done, or you can go to that client and tell them the situation and hope that they can extend that deadline. Either way, you're presented with a kind of a fork in the road, and you have to decide what is the best choice, best course of action. If that is a client that you're trying to gain additional business, perhaps extending that deadline isn't the best choice, but then that's on you to be able to work those extra hours. Now, there's a good chance that those extra hours will definitely pay off. Maybe it'll bring future business to you, for example, in the future. But either way, you are responsible for meeting that deadline. And how you meet that deadline, or if you meet that deadline, is entirely on you. My hope is that you have many, many resources that you can pull on your team and you can just parse that assignment out to somebody else. But it may also mean that you instead may have to work a lot of extra hours that, if you're an employee, may seem like you're not getting paid for. Or if you're a business owner, you're doing a lot more work than you may have anticipated. But in almost every single case that I've ever heard of in my entire life, that hard work always pays off. So as always, I like to issue a challenge. I want to know when hard work in your life definitely paid off. Tell us in the comments below. As always, like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it around to all your friends, subscribe, and make today great, guys.